What an incredible scene here at TD Garden Monday night. The Boston Bruins win 5-4 in overtime, beating the Toronto Maple Leafs to advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Rangers later this week. Murph, this place was rocking. What an incredible comeback from the Bruins. Where did it start?
You know what? I think it starts just with Patrice Bergeron. I know Nathan Horton got that second goal to make it 4-2, but you look at the way Bergeron just put the team on his back. We know he's a leader. He showed it again tonight. He gets the game-tying and the game-winning goal. And, I mean, what more can you say about this guy? He does it all. We know that earlier in the season he had talked to his teammates, said you got to get out of this slump, and tried to help them get back on track. And when he saw it happen on the ice there, he knew the season was on the line. He stepped it up and got it done.
You know, David Krejci said afterwards that he was pretty disappointed in the fans who left midway through the first period when the Bruins were down 4-1, and he told me afterwards, he said, you know, we don't need those people. You know, for the people who stayed, they got a great gift, and he called it one of the greatest moments that he's experienced, and he included the Stanley Cup 2 years ago in 2011. But here's what the players, who were pretty pumped up after the game, here's what some of the players, including Brad Marchand and Milan Lucic, had to say after the game.
That was an unbelievable feeling. You know, it looked pretty bad there for a little while, and but it shows the character of our team, and it shows what playoffs is like. You can't quit even for if you're up by a few goals. You got to keep playing to the end of the game, and guys did a great job tonight.
Something like this would do for you guys.
It's huge. You look at Game 7 a couple of years ago against Montreal. Being down 2-0 and coming back and winning Game 7 in overtime, it really gives your team a lot of confidence, a lot of, it gives them the opportunity to know that we can carry this thing a long way. And obviously, we got a great team in here, but there's a lot of great teams in this league, so we got to make sure we're prepared for the next battle.
Feels real good right now when you're looking at the clock wind down with half a period left at 4-1. You start thinking to yourself, is this the end of this group here? And because it probably would have been if we didn't win this game, but it was, it was. I mean, you got to have bounces, you got to have luck, you got to have everything go your way, and that's what happened there in the last 10 minutes of the third period.
A big theme after this one, Murph, was the players also said that they admitted that if they had lost this series, they knew that there were probably going to be wholesale changes in this offseason. But now with this group and the way that they came back, it believes that maybe this group could stay together a little longer, depending on what happens moving forward. What do you think?
Well, I think it definitely depends on what happens moving forward. I'll tell you one thing. I was convinced if they didn't win this game, their coach was going to pay the price for them, which I don't think is the right move, but I think it would have happened. I think Claude Julien would have been done if they didn't win this game. So not only did they save their season, they probably saved Claude Julien's job for now. But I think going forward, the Bruins need to figure out, do they want to play like the team we saw late in that third period and a couple other games in this series, or do they want to play like the team that just doesn't show up and live to their potential? I don't know yet. I think that's still a giant question mark. But I'll tell you one thing. You can't doubt that they have no quit in them, and you can't doubt the guts they showed tonight.
No doubt, in a game like this, especially given all the inconsistencies that they've had in this series, this could be a benchmark for them moving forward in the playoffs. And you just have to admit, I mean, this place was just an incredible atmosphere tonight. I mean, we haven't seen this, at all, ever.
No, and you know what? We didn't see it at all through the whole night. I mean, it was like a funeral home in here, and I think a lot of people thought that's what they were witnessing was the funeral of the 2013 Bruins. And then they just came back from the dead. And, I mean, it woke up. When they got that third goal, it started to pick up a little more. Not quite there yet, but when Bergeron ever tied that game, this place, I thought the roof was going to fall down. I mean, they had to stop the game because stuff was coming on the ice. And it was bedlam. And that's what you want to see. And that's what these fans should have gotten on a much more consistent basis in this series, and they need to get it more going forward.
Well, the Boston Bruins were undermanned due to all the injuries. They were undesieged by the Toronto Maple Leafs, but they still came back and they won it in dramatic fashion. And the Bruins live for another day, for another series, and will face the New York Rangers later on this week. And as always, throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs, make sure to check back with ESPNBoston.com.